Welcome everyone to the Radio Toons podcast. How is it going?
It's going great.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
Hey Ernie, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
We're gonna keep it brief this week. We're gonna keep it to 30 minutes on the dot.
It's not gonna be.
If we go,
it's on the dot. You always say that.
If we go 1 second over, delete. I'm just gonna eradicate this file. No, we're just kind of hurried because our schedules are really fucked up this week. Ernie's son got the flu, and it's just everything.
And then spring break is happening next week. It's just a mess.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm gonna sound like a grouchy old man, but like, I know when kids have their breaks because when I go to lunch at work, there's kids everywhere, and I'm just like, where am I supposed to eat? I can't eat in peace when there's all these fucking kids around, you know, like.
Steven is turning into a grumpy old man.
Yeah. I live like in an area too where it's like grandparents, I guess, and they just let them do whatever the fuck they want. There's like kids playing in the fountain at work, and I'm like, you know, they probably shouldn't do that, like, but they're old people, so no one's gonna tell them anything, and then it's like whatever. But I digress. Hey, you know PlayStation, Ernie?
The company?
Yeah, do you know about them?
I think I've heard about them.
They responded to Nintendo Direct this week.
What do you mean responded?
They were just like, you got your Nintendo, what is it called? Nintendo Direct? Well, fuck you guys. We got State of Play. That's our thing.
Whoa. Yeah, it's like State of the Union.
Uh-huh.
But it's State of Play.
They said we're gonna address the state of play, you know, and they throw the shades on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they used to do that a lot?
What?
Like, I remember we would be able to see, like, hey everybody, welcome to the PlayStation update, and here's what's new in the new OS for PlayStation this week.
Sure, I there's probably something like that, but this one looks a lot like Nintendo Direct. Like, everyone was comparing it to Nintendo Direct because it has like that slideshow presentation kind of thing.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, here's what's up next, and you could see what's on both sides of the image, so it's like, oh,
wow,
like you like laid out a lot like Nintendo's.
Why is it PlayStation's always doing that? Like, they could do their own thing. Why they like backtrack into what Nintendo does? It's so weird. They're a huge company. I
can't answer that for you. I mean, you think after the PlayStation Classic, they'd just be like, let's just do our own thing, you know? Like maybe
after PlayStation Move, they were like, let's not do this.
Jeez. But then, like, well, they were kind of able to adjust it so that, like, those Move controllers were useful because of VR, right, or something.
Yeah, but what about that huge gap in the middle where they were just
I know.
There's nothing for PlayStation Move.
Yeah, you could find those things at GameStop for like $1.
Yeah.
And then when PSVR came out, everyone was like, nope, I want them. Like,
and they're like scooping them up for $1. Now all of a sudden they're worth a lot of money.
It's crazy. They did release some VR titles. They started the conference, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They started it with what looked like was going to be the Avengers game that everybody's talking about.
I remember.
There's an Avengers title, and everyone's really excited for it.
Because in 3D or VR or whatever, like, oh.
No, that's the Avengers game. I don't think is going to be VR.
Oh, but that was actually interesting.
No. What was announced was an Iron Man VR game.
Okay.
So you're in the suit and you're flying around and stuff. Which I was like, okay, it looks cool.
You know what it's gonna be, dude.
Jarvis and stuff.
No, it's just gonna be you in the helmet, and then you spin around and shoot stuff. That's all it's gonna be.
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, there's, if I'm being completely honest, there was a part of me because they announced a few VR titles, and I was looking at them and I was like, it looks kind of fun. Like, if I had one, it would be great to just like, or if I knew somebody that had one, or if I just like, I mean, I'm sure I could go to like a computer lab and just try it out. But like,
our nephew has it.
You're right, actually. Our nephew does have it, but
never plays it.
I would feel embarrassed to like go over to their house and like.
All he does is play Fortnite.
But yeah, I don't know. They had some other games. They had another trailer for Crash Team Racing, which looks really fun. I would consider getting that if I had more than like 4 friends that I hang out with on it.
Isn't that coming out for Switch too?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. But, like, I don't even have Mario Kart. Like, I don't even own Mario Kart, so why...
What?
Why would I own Mario Kart?
Oh, you're right, because we used to just play it on mine.
It's basically just me. Like, I have... Like, Smash Brothers is a little different. You can play online and all this, but...
Right, and that actually, you do have a lot of friends who play that.
But yeah,
like one-on-one.
It looks really good. I've always liked the Crash characters.
Yeah.
You're looking at the trilogy, not the Team Racing. That trilogy though is it comes with like a controller on Switch or something. Sorry, okay.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
I'm getting distracted because I'm pulling stuff up.
We're looking at a computer screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they did announce, I believe it was a new game. I'd never heard of this. It's called Concrete Genie, and it's about a little kid with like a paintbrush on his back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it looks like one of those creative like artistic like indie titles that they usually pull out, which are usually good.
Right.
So I would say like, why not try it out? Right. Like it looks pretty good. I forget what the fuck that game was called, but kind of reminded me of that. There was a game that started on PS Vita and then it had a sequel or something on or it got re-released or something on PS4. I think it wasn't called Unravel. It was the other one that was like everything was like made of cardboard and the premise of it was like ripping shit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know. Yes, I know that game, but I can't remember.
I'm sure everybody knows what it is except me. But yeah, that game. Anyway, that game. Okay. So, oh yeah, it is coming out on Switch.
There you go.
No, sorry, we're talking about Crash again. Crash Team Racing is coming out on Switch. $40, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you haven't seen the trailer, you should go check it out. It's called Concrete Genie. It looks pretty interesting.
Is it now? Just to clarify, is this a VR game or just a new title?
No, it's just a new title.
Okay.
But like once you see the trailer, I'm pretty sure you'll get that vibe that like a lot of other like artsy PlayStation games give off. You know, like I don't really know how to describe it, but you know. Did
they show like it was compatible with the Move or something? Because that'd be cool to like be able to paint with the Move controller.
They didn't show gameplay.
What the hell?
They might have actually, because at one point the kid's like drawing on the wall and it looks like a cursor.
Okay.
So maybe I had it on the background. I wasn't really watching. I'm sorry. If we're your outlet for news, then I am truly sorry because like. Jeez, yeah, I'm getting got a little misinformation here, but yeah, that's all I got from that presentation. I probably did miss something, but that Concrete Genie game seemed like pretty much the only game that I was like, oh, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, might
try it out. But Nintendo Direct did happen like 2 weeks ago, and we never talked about it.
Well, there's a little game that came out that we were all about last week, so
yeah, because it was Nintendo like Nindies. And they were basically showing off a bunch of indie games, which, you know, a lot of people, I'm sure, were just like, snore, right?
Snore.
But there's a little indie game that came to the Switch that a lot of people might be interested in. I don't know.
Steve, just
Cuphead.
I like how you're like,
Cuphead's coming to the Switch.
Finally.
It's amazing.
Dude, that game should have been on the Switch, honestly.
I woke up that morning and I'm seeing all these tweets and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I go on Nintendo's YouTube channel and it's already there and I'm like, there's no fucking way this is actually happening.
You know those rumors about Xbox Game Pass coming to the Switch in some form is getting stronger and stronger because not only is that game coming to like the Switch, but like other AAA titles like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil are now coming out for the Switch as well, and it's like all these like bigger titles are like they're making their way over.
Yeah, that's what I think is the. If you don't care about Cuphead, that's something else you can take from this announcement. Is that like Xbox games are gonna be on Switch now?
Yeah,
we could have the Master Chief Collection on Switch, dude.
That's so dope.
Like. Say what you will about Halo now. Like, Halo 1 and 2, I'm fucking in, dude. I love those games. Those games are, like, so nostalgic to me. Like, but then it's like, you know, obviously the big one that Xbox owns, Rare.
Yeah.
They get Rare Replay on Switch, dude.
That means you got Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie,
Banjo-Tooie. You know what I mean? Nuts and bolts.
Conquer.
Classic game.
Conquer is all I care about, honestly. But
what about Grab by the Ghoulies?
Yeah, we tried it out. It was all right. But yeah, Banjo 1 and 2 are fucking reason enough, I think, to own that collection.
Yeah, I recently beat that game. Mm-hmm. You know, Steven walked me through some of the points. By the way, end of that game was total bullshit. Other than that, though, the game was
the first game or the second game?
First game. That board game bullshit at the end, I was like, fuck this.
Oh yeah, the Gruntilda fight too is pretty like. If you fuck up one part of that fight, it's all over. You have to start from the beginning. Yeah, so.
And I forget, in Rare Replay, do they have Donkey Kong Country? They don't, right?
No.
Which is weird, right?
Donkey Kong 64, you mean?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
That's so weird, right?
Do people want that game?
I think a lot of people used to play that game. They would tell me, oh, dude, Donkey Kong 64, dope.
I mean, Donkey Kong Country for sure, that would be great. I mean, I don't know why, I don't know what the fuck their problem is with that. Like, just give us a Donkey Kong collection on Switch. Like
they gave it to us on the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, whatever. I want to play it on the Switch. I want to play it on the go, you know?
And now they got, like, Crash Team Racing, I saw, was one of the ones that they're bringing back, too, which I think is, like, oh, dope. Like, the remake is... Because they had Insane Trilogy, right, on there, but they got it late, right? It wasn't at the same time, was it? It was at the same time?
No, it was exclusive to PlayStation, and then it got released on other consoles.
And now, like, Crash Team Racing's coming out for everything all at once.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
I just feel like now they're like, you know, we can dump all these indie games on the Switch.
Yeah, so like they honestly like they announced a few other things too, games that you've probably already played, and then they announced that Hollow Knight is getting like a sequel.
Right.
I thought it was like a DLC, but I guess
no,
like
it's a full-fledged sequel.
Yeah.
The one you heard that's getting DLC is Cuphead. When it gets released onto Switch, is the same day. What I heard was that the same day that the Switch. You get the Switch version. The DLC comes out for Xbox.
So not for Switch though.
I can't confirm whether or not it was for Xbox and Switch, but I did hear like, oh, the DLC's coming.
Well, it's coming out April 26th, which is like right around the block.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy
what was her name again?
Chalice, Miss Chalice.
Miss Chalice.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I'm probably gonna run through the game again.
Yeah.
Like on Switch, because. And okay,
God, some of those bad guys, I'm like, oh fuck, again.
Dude, one of the things I'm happiest about, honestly, is they kept the price point the same.
Right.
Cuphead's only $20 on Switch, which is unheard of.
Yeah, it really is.
Keeping the price the same on Switch is like unheard of. So just a double whammy there for Nintendo. Like not only Cuphead, but you get the original pricing, that retro pricing as well.
You think they're gonna add like a little Mario character in there just to make it their own?
I would
like
hope
one of the guys.
so.
One of the guys has a little hat, and he's like, "Ah, look at my hat."
Dude, I would hope so. The one of the features they said that they're actually adding is you can play as Mugman by himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
which I know is something else nobody cares about, but the Switches, the Joy-Cons, player 1 is blue,
right,
and player 2 is red. So I'm wondering if they did that just so you could be like, oh, okay, you're Mugman, so you get the blue controller and I get the red one. You know?
You can switch it to what you want.
I don't know. Yeah, but
you know what? I had a question. Maybe you don't know the answer to it, but could you play on two Switches if you both have the game, or does it have to be on one screen? Because I keep seeing it on one screen.
That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know because it didn't even have online multiplayer.
No,
so
just had the regular one side by side.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question though.
You know what's great about it on Switch too is you don't have to worry about lag. Because, you know, if you really, really need to, get in there and be one-to-one, you can always just pull it out of that damn dock and be like, all right, I need to be, like, super into this right here.
That's very true. I remember because we were playing Cuphead on your TV, and there was some lag, and there was attacks that I was like, I swear I jumped. I swear I fucking jumped.
Man, man, I cannot wait for that game to come out.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Have you been playing anything, Ernie? Any video games? Watching any media? No?
Watching any media in general?
Yeah.
No, for the most part, I started replaying a bunch of stuff. I'm actually excited to get Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 7?
Yeah, because they just brought it back out, and it's only like $14.
I know.
I'm like, that's pretty good. But then this morning you were like, yeah, it's got a bug in it.
I don't think it's game breaking, but it's because they're all PC ports,
right?
And they're just being restructured for Switch and other consoles as HD releases or whatever.
Yeah.
and I guess there's some fucking bug with the PC port of Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 on PC used to use MIDI music, like use the MIDI controller music.
Right.
Do you know what that means?
Yes.
It sounds a little shitty.
Well.
Yeah, so they had to replace it with the original soundtrack. That apparently caused some kind of bug or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Music caused a bug? That's so weird.
Yeah, something really strange. But I was thinking about that too, and I was like, should I buy this game for like the upteenth time and just like play through it again? Like,
you've bought it maybe twice.
Dude, I've bought that game so many fucking times.
Bought it on the original PlayStation. You didn't buy it on the original PlayStation.
Yeah, I did.
I thought I bought it.
I have a copy and then I sold it and I bought another copy.
That's the one I got. Isn't it the one that says greatest hits on the side?
I bought that shit from GameStop, dude. I remember too because I went into GameStop to buy it, and some kid was in line in front of me, and he bought it before me. They had 2 copies, and he said, "I want the one with the black label," and I was like, "This motherfucker." Because they had the greatest hits one, and they had the original.
Right.
They were both the same price, but this kid knew, and he was like, "I want the one with the black label. I don't want that greatest hits shit. Get it out of here."
It's the same damn game.
So
Steve.
I was stuck with the greatest hits version. Yeah, I know. But that's the one I got, and then I eventually like sold it because I was like poor, and then I bought it again when GameStop was having like this crazy sale. And they were like, you could get Final Fantasy 7 just the discs without the case.
Okay.
For $3.
We'll put it in this sleeve.
For $3. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want that, dude. Like I don't care about the box. It's like as long as I can play it.
Am I crazy? Didn't they put a remake out or some sort of? Oh no! I know what you bought.
What?
You bought that weird like Zack one. Which one was that one?
Crisis Core?
Is that what it was? Where you play as Zack instead of Cloud?
On PSP?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was not very good, to say the least. But,
so you only bought it like a couple times.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be like my 4th time buying it because I have it on Steam, which I like. Like I said, I was like very disappointed to learn that like people didn't really like that port. But anyway, okay, I've been playing Sekiro.
Oh, man, like. I have a coworker who's like, that's the second coming of Christ.
Really?
But he's a super big fan of
the Soul series.
I
think you have to be to like this game.
Honestly, like we had this conversation, and I was like, his name's Jordan. I was like, Jordan, I've played that game before. Trust me. And he's like, oh, it's the best, man. It's all about countering and dodging. And I was like, you want to see some countering and dodging? And then I showed him like that. Who was the dude that you showed me from Devil May Cry? Like that really dope combo.
Oh, the player?
Yeah.
Donguri,
like,
yeah.
I looked that up because it was in my history. I was like, look at this. And it was like showing all this dodging and like timing and all these different things and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, here are the weapons, here are the arms, and then here are the styles. And you have to, he's like, wow, that is very different. I was like, yeah. But dodge and counterattack and wait. Yeah, that's real hopping.
I know it's like I don't know how to describe it because I had trouble playing Bloodborne as well because it just gets kind of boring to me fighting the same shit over and over again,
right.
Which is essentially what you have to do, and a lot of people are just like into that. They're just like, oh, it's just like an NES game and all this stuff, and I'm like NES games exist. I mean, go back and fucking play an NES game or something. I don't know, like it is fun. Don't get me wrong. It's just very like. I don't know. Sometimes they seem like too punishing. I'm not used to it, I guess. And like, I don't mind difficulty. But like, I'll only really like put myself through something really difficult if I actually like the game.
Right.
And like when it came to Bloodborne, and then like when it came to like, I mean, this game too, kind of. I'm like, I'm not really in love with like the character designs or like the environments are like they look really realistic. Like. I'm more of a cartoony person, and I like cartoony shit, so it's like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I do like the game, but like, there's just a lot of it. Like I was just playing right now, and I'm walking down this cliffside, and this giant fucking snake eats me, and I'm like, okay. So there's like no way I was supposed to know it the first time around, so it's just a beginner's trap. And which is, I guess is why a lot of people say like, oh, it's like an NES game, where it's like shit will just happen like that.
Yeah, but NES games used to be better at that.
NES games are like 40 years old, first of all. But like, I was just kind of like, okay, like I guess if I was streaming this, that would be funny. Or like if I was doing a Let's Play, that'd be cool.
That'd be more hilarious.
Yeah, or if I was like video game donkey, that'd be a funny death. I'd be a funny death for my video or something. But like
you know what's funny?
Yeah.
The guy that I was talking about was like, dude, this game is like fucking so dope. That's the first thing he sent me was that guy, Video Game Donkey, dying like 375 times. I was like, okay.
It's almost like kind of like a meme at this point. Like I'm actually surprised these games are popular because it's like they're so difficult. People kind of like people are like it's like sex for gamers, you know? They're just like yeah, I fucking beat Dark Souls. Are you kidding me? It's like, yeah, and then there's other guys in the corner that are just like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, I've beaten it too. Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like, of course I've beaten Dark Souls. Are you kidding me?
Honestly, I got like halfway through that game and then just stopped because I felt like I wasn't getting much out of it.
I don't know. Like I said, like I don't mind hard games, but I don't love them.
Do we play Cuphead?
That's
a hard game.
I love Cuphead.
Yeah,
that's the difference. And people told me this about Devil May Cry, right?
Right.
Devil May Cry 3 is hard. I love Dante. That's the difference. I always tell people too, like, oh yeah, I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I'm not gonna play Guilty Gear because it's too complex. There's too much crap going on. And then they're just like, you played Dante in Marvel 3. He's a complex character, and I'm like, I love Dante.
That's the difference.
What don't you understand about that? That's the difference. Like, especially like in Bloodborne, dude. My character was like, you customize your character for like 30 minutes, and then you were in a mass the whole fucking time. So it's like, I'm just not like, it's just not my kind of game. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, because I would get burned at the cross for saying that these games are bad.
You know what it is about that game? It's that same thing that I know Aaron doesn't really like talking about his sequelitis series anymore because he's like, I don't even agree with the stuff I said in there anymore. But I think his whole like Zelda 64 thing about waiting, I think it's very true.
You know what's like? It's funny too because Aaron's like all in on Sekiro, and I'm like, dude, I'm playing Sekiro, and there's a lot of waiting. And this guy complained a lot about waiting in Zelda 64. So, like...
Yeah, because, like, I there's tons of games that are like this. They're like, take a stance, and then when the guy attacks, counterattack. And then attack. Great. That's exactly what I used to do in Zelda 64. It's the same gameplay style. Lock onto that guy, and then when he attacks, counterattack.
Yeah.
There's no way to, like, actively bait him. Because as long as you're attacking, the guy blocks. So you're waiting.
There's ways to bait them for sure. Like you'll step into like their proximity,
and then they'll go like
or like, you know, like the actual combat's good. It's just like, to me, when I go through a bunch of enemies, and it was hard for me to get through these enemies, and then I get to a giant snake that just kills me instantly, and I fall off the cliff, so I can't even resurrect, and I have to fight all these enemies again. I don't really like that, you know? Like, call me crazy, but I'm kind of like, this is fucking stupid. Like, why are you going to make me kill all these enemies again? And, like, okay, to be fair, you can skip all those enemies, and, like, you know, I've only really played, like, 2.5 hours, I think. I'm not really far into the game. So, this is just preliminary thoughts on the game.
Sure.
But I'm saying that, too, because I didn't get through Bloodborne, because I got to a point in Bloodborne where I was like, I was fighting this boss, right? And I was like, I can't fucking beat this guy, and I'm getting pissed because, like, all my souls are gone or whatever. I'm blood echoes, whatever the fuck they called it in that game. And then one of my friends is like, oh yeah, that's a side boss. You have to beat that guy. You're actually supposed to buy an item, and it unlocks some door, and that's how you continue to play the game. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, how was I supposed to know that? Like, I don't know. To me, that was just strange, but I know a lot of people really get off on that kind of shit. They were just like, oh, it's a community. You got to talk to people. You know, that's what it's about. And I'm like, okay.
But I don't want to do that.
No, yeah. That's cool for you. If you like that shit, that's cool. But to me, I feel like I just wasted a lot of my life doing the same shit over and over again. And I didn't really... Not to mention, like, it kind of takes the wind out of my sails when somebody is just like, oh, yeah, I beat that boss. I cheesed him. I got him like in a corner, like behind some column, and I like burned him with the flamethrower. I'm talking about the Bloodstarved Beast, if for context here. And I was just kind of like,
is that what people want? Is it like, I just want to cheese my way through this? Like, it's one of the things that I love about Devil May Cry. Like, maybe the first time you run through it, you're like, dang, man, I barely beat that guy. And I had to cheese him a little bit. But by the time you run through it the second time, because you always want to run through it the second time, you're like, I'm going to do it with, like, fucking style, because I have all my weapons, and now I can be, like, super dope and creative in how I take him down.
I was saying, it's like, I'm a fan of Devil May Cry, and, like, I think the combo system is what really attracts me to it. Just the amount
because there's a bunch of creativity in that.
Yeah, the amount of depth is like there was a reviewer I told you this last week that was like, there's no dedicated dodge button in Devil May Cry, so fuck that game. And I'm like, dude, every move in Trickster is invincible. Like, you have so many ways to maneuver and dodge.
Yeah.
Like,
not to mention there's a dedicated block button too. Like, you switch over to Royal Guard, you can block.
Yeah, exactly. And jumping obviously is invincible as well. So it's like,
also there's teching. Like, you can clash into if you time it right, you can clash into something and it'll like,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's I don't know. But yeah, like I want to make it perfectly clear that I've only played about 2 hours. So
right.
I did get to one part of the game. So you travel into like another map basically.
Yeah.
You go pray at this Buddha statue.
Okay.
And this Buddha statue teleports you somewhere else. And it's like nighttime there. And you're walking around like this little kind of like village area.
Right. Which
was still fucking hard and I was getting pretty frustrated. But the difference was it was at nighttime and there was like these little rooftops and it was like Tenchu. I was like, dude, this is like what Tenchu could have been. How they kept making games and stuff. So
I remember the first time when we were at E3, you and me, and we saw that trailer.
Which one?
For this game at E3.
I don't remember that.
I saw them, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I think this is Tenchu," and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I was so bummed.
I don't know if that's the year we went. Was it? Well, anyway, I know what you're talking about.
I remember seeing this and being like, "Dude, this looks so Tenchu Stealth Assassin," because it was like roofed, like the houses, the Chinese style houses that had like the Japanese style houses that had the rooftops, and there was some guy running on it. I was like,
yeah,
is it Tenchu?
Grappling hook?
Yes.
Yeah. It definitely like it has that going for it, like the sneaking elements.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, Metal Gear sets the standards for that shit, and it's really hard for me to like. It's really hard for me not to just compare it to Metal Gear. Because Metal Gear 5 was so good with that shit, dude. Like, all the options you get in Metal Gear 5 to sneak around, the way the environment affects every fucking, like, facet of that game is so good, dude. Like, so this game comes along and it's kind of hard for me to be like... I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does this make sense? Like, stealth elements in every other game are kind of like... You're not Metal Gear, dude. Just stop. Like, just stop trying to be Metal Gear.
Here's a game that's come close, honestly.
Okay.
And it feels more like an arcade version of, Metal Gear Solid because the story's really straightforward, and the kills are like, you know how to like bring somebody down pretty easily, and it's the last Splinter Cell that I played because they bring it back on Game Pass all the time. And I played the last one recently. I think it was like 2 months ago, and I played. I was like, dude, why haven't they made another one of these? Because these are so fucking cool. Like, essentially, imagine like an Assassin's Creed, but like way fucking harder. Where, you know, and Sam Fisher's thing was, instead of being like a camouflage thing, like in Metal Gear Solid, like in 5 and in 4 and 5, you know how it was more of camouflage and
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the camouflage thing in part 4?
I just remember, all I know from Sam Fisher's the 3 dots.
No, I'm talking about Metal Gear Solid. Remember how he had camouflage?
No, you said Sam Fisher. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying Sam Fisher's version of that is being in the shadows. So taking out lights, making sure like, hey, turn this off, short this out. Like, that's his thing.
The first Splinter Cell was actually pretty good for its time. I remember there was like a meter that was like, this is how...
That's still true throughout the series, but This one that had like it was like I forget what it's called, but it's the last one where he's off the grid and they're coming to get him.
Yeah.
So in this one, it's very like he had something called insta deaths, and so if you took out like 5 guys without getting seen, you gained an instant death. So you could just like you pushed a button and it automatically killed somebody without making a noise. So you were able to build up to that. So it gave you more incentive to kill people without getting caught or anything.
That's kind of what I haven't gained a lot of skills yet. Like I said, it's early on in the game. But in Bloodborne, Bloodborne was really like offensive based, and if you got hit doing something, as long as you did like a visceral attack, which is like where you stun them basically, and you do like this kind of like a more powerful attack that like has a little animation,
right?
You would gain your life back,
okay,
from doing that. So in Street Fighter you have like red life when you get hit,
right?
You would just gain that red life back.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like oh, okay, you got hit, but parry them and do something, and you'll get your life back.
Right.
This game doesn't really have anything like that, but to be completely honest, I don't. There's like this. It has like a guard break system, where like you have a meter beneath your life bar.
Right.
That's like your guard.
Right.
So if they hit you enough times, your guard breaks, and then you're open for an attack.
Okay.
Which is okay, I guess. But to be honest, like a lot of people that I see streaming the game, they're just like mashing the button. Like, it kind of pisses me off too, because I'm just like, these motherfuckers getting so lucky, because I will try and sit there and do things like more methodically, or I'll try to like.
But there's no incentive for it.
Yeah, well, not right now. But like, if you get a skill later that's like, okay, like if you deflect on time, you get like life back or something, or I don't know. But yeah, like I said, super early. I'm gonna keep playing it for sure. Like,
well, you paid for it, so you should.
I didn't pay for it actually. My very good friend Nico. Shout out to Nico. He's Steam library sharing with me right now.
Right.
Which is how I got to play Resident Evil 2. So as long as like one of us is offline, we can both play at the same time.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, which is like holy shit. And the game actually looks beautiful. Like I like any excuse to just have like a good looking game running on my computer, right?
Right.
This game's fucking beautiful. Like, so yeah. Ernie, what time is it? I believe we're over.
We're over by 3 minutes. This is all deleted. By the way,
sorry guys. Well, I guess you won't be hearing this, but delete. No. We are Radio Toons Podcast on SoundCloud. We're Radio Toons Podcast on iTunes. I'm at Soho Shuffle on Twitter.
I'm at Neo Ernie.
Do you have anything left to add, Ernie? Anything left to shout out? Any final thoughts?
Just a final thought, because you mentioned PC.
I
got a new card.
A new graphics card?
It doesn't work.
Oh, no.
My old motherboard.
Yeah. That's one thing you gotta be careful with. I remember when you gave me that graphics card, your old one.
Yeah.
I had to buy a new power supply because that shit was just...
It was just not enough.
It was too beastly for my fucking small little computer, so...
So, yeah. But shout out to Shannon. He hooked me up with the new one.
Oh, nice.
So, it's great.
Yeah. Shannon gave me a lot of stuff for my computer, too, so shout out.
So, big shout out to Shannon.
Yeah. But yeah, so that does it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.